you are watching us across the globe, this is Sport Africa. This is where we'll give you everything that has to do with the best of sport on the continent of Africa, majorly football. Of course, that is what we do. The 2023 Africa Cup of Nations has gone now, come and gone, but of course, it's still generating a lot of fallout. Welcome. My name remains Ashalolu Afemi, and it's been awesome with you, our fans across the world, since we started this platform. Thank you so much for the support throughout the AFCON, Isato, and even till now. Kado Gundari and James are here, and today we'll be crisscrossing the continent. So much to talk about today on the show. But guys, I welcome you first. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Happy to be on today's edition.
Okay, so welcome, guys. Like I said, today it's going to be a lot of roaming. We're going to Kenya, going to Nigeria, going to Ivory Coast, going to Ghana. Then we'll be terminating our trip today in Equatorial Guinea. So it's going to be such a fantastic time on the show today. So just take a cup of coffee beside you. Just sip gradually as we take you on this journey. Today we'll be starting on a very sad note. Of course, today Kelvin Kiptum will be buried in his little village in Kenya. And sad, at 24, the young man achieved so much. He came, he saw, he conquered. And his mother and his widow, they've been looking back at his life. Achieved so much at 24. I tell you, that is just the value about life. And the mother said, she will remember him as a joker and someone that is so dedicated to his craft. So also is his wife. James, I'll start with you. The most heart-wrenching thing that I've read about him is how much he has helped people at 24. You can't just believe that he's lived so much life at 24 because a lot of people have talked about how he helped them pay school fees, how he helped them pay rent. Even the young athletes in Kenya that he's been mentoring, they've been talking about how they're going to miss him because it's a small farming village in Kenya, Chepsamo. There's still money. And today, that money will be reaching its crescendo because it will be committed to mother cards today.
Well, a very sad one. Just like what we said when we talked about the tragic incident in our previous edition. As someone that is still in his prime at 24. I mean, he has not even taken up yet. Fine, he has won some races and done well, but I mean, 24 is just too. So it's as if he's just starting, you know. The good thing is that at least he will be remembered for the things he did, for the life he took, you know, despite the third time he was able to spend on health, you know, helping people. Yeah, it reminds me of the late Christian Achu for the Black Stars. You know, when he passed, we heard a lot of good things he did for the less privileged, you know, going to the prison to help the inmates, you know, sending money to people, helping people in businesses, you know. So, I mean, it's good that people are coming out to, because a lot of people know that these are the kind of things that the late Kenyan athlete has been doing, you know. I mean, so for me, it's unfortunate, and I mean, the sad one, you know, but we just pray that God give the family the fortitude to.
Point of correction. James, is not Christian Achu. That's a westernized way of pronouncing his name. Is Christian Achu. Achu, not Achu. Achu is a twin. A boy is Achu, a girl is Achu P. So it's not Achu, it's Achu.
You pardon me because I'm not Ghanaian.
Thank you. Not all of us are Ghanaian brothers.
Yeah, you are
my Ghanaian brothers.
You have Ghanaian, so you have to pardon me for that.
And Achu P, a boy is Achu, a girl is Achu P. So it's not Achu.
Okay, I remember because I know Achu, he has a sister as a twin.
That's the name for twins actually. It's the name for twins.
Okay, let's talk about Kelvin Kiptum. He was built to succeed Eliud Kipchoge, but the cold hand of death, of course, snatched him quite too early. And like I said earlier, the young athletes in Kenya, they've been talking about how he's helped them, you know, tell them to you know, have a drive for what they want to achieve. And the wife said he never rested. Even when she appealed to him to rest, he would say, I need to go make things better for you, our children, and of course for other people than he's been helping. And recently, okay, I'll just put recently, he bought books for high school kids. He bought shoes, and he offered his car to ferry them to school and help with school fees. These are part of the things that he achieved just at 24. Last year, he broke the world marathon record, and this year he had a lot of things set out for himself. But like we said today, we are referring to him in past tense. So sad. And Kenya will be mourning today. Africa, as a matter of fact, will be mourning today as he is buried.
This is a familiar story, Femi. We often see this when a star is burning so brightly, then all of a sudden it gets extinguished in the bright afternoon. People like this come, they live a short life, a life of impact, and then they are gone even before you know they are here. So what matters most is not how long you stay, but what impact you have. Everybody's talking about him now at 24. If he had been a bad person, this is the same way people would have talked about him. So he's like when anybody dies, Femi, it is a lesson not for the dead, but for the living. That whatever it is you do will speak much more for you than you can speak for yourself, whether you are here or you are not. So our prayers sincerely is that he finds rest with his maker and that the family will have the strength, Kenya will have the strength, and the whole of Africa will have the strength to bear this loss.
Okay, so finally, I'll quote this particular statement from one of the young athletes he was mentoring. As a matter of fact, his friend revealed that he wanted to open a local training camp for aspiring athletes in his village. Then this guy said, Kiptum was my mentor. He used his own funds to help upcoming athletes like me pay rent, buy food, and help us register for races. So some of these guys, Henry Akipiego, he told BBC, we pray that his soul rest in peace. And thank God also, of course, another tragedy was averted earlier this week when Abdul Babar Rahman, the Ghanaian defender, collapsed on the pitch, in a Greek game. And after then, thank God that he said that he's fine now. So another tragedy averted there. Remember, Raphael Dramina was just buried last week. And also this same month, we marked 1 year remembrance of Christian Achu. So we pray that this tragedy wouldn't be seeing any of it. Okay, let's get started. I'll still come to you. Let's get started with football. Thierry Henry has warned Victor Osimhen not to join Arsenal for anything in the world. You want to say as an Arsenal legend, you expect Thierry Henry to encourage such a player to move to Arsenal, but he's saying, in all that you do, please don't go to Arsenal. Why would you think Henry would say so? He didn't give his reasons, but a lot of people are baffled that it is one thing that Arsenal needs. Arsenal, they do not have this a good poacher, so to say. You can't compare Gabriel Jesus or even Edin Ketia in the same bread as Victor Osimhen, but he's saying don't go to Arsenal in anything you do.
Femi, Victor Osimhen to Arsenal does not make sense. Yeah, when you talk about a transfer potentially, you look at two things. It's either you go for footballing reasons or for non-footballing reasons, which could be the cash factor. Now, if you talk about the cash factor, Arsenal are not known to splash too much on players. So you cannot accuse any player of going to Arsenal for the cash. Then for footballing reasons, Arsenal are not just there at the moment. They are not at that level where he would say is going for footballing reasons. As a matter of fact, this might shock you, but I would rather he goes to Chelsea as bad as they've been in the last 2 seasons.
I was about to throw that to you because Arsenal are doing better than Chelsea this season.
That's the point. You see,
so
with
Chelsea,
why
would you say you would rather prefer him to go to Chelsea than Arsenal?
Hold on a bit. With Chelsea, you know that they have ambition, they have the cash. So at least, if not for any other thing, you know you are going there for the cash. But when you go to Arsenal, you are not going because of the cash. Arsenal, they are not known to spend money like Chelsea would do. If you're going to go to England at all costs, you could go to City. If you go to City, you are going for the money, and then you are also going for titles. Although I would not advise him to go to City because of Ireland, they're just going to be in each other's way. So there are a lot of other options that around Europe. Of course, PSG are a very, very attractive destination for him. And then, of course, Mbappe is moving reportedly, like we've heard. So PSG is a good place to go, at least for the money. Because Femi, let's not deceive ourselves. If you are not going for the football, then you are going for the money. But like Henry said, and I agree with him 100%, Arsenal may not be the right place for Osimhen now because, like I said, not for the money, and obviously not for footballing reasons. So I quite understand where Henry is coming from. And it's a brave one to say that, actually. It is brave of him to say that.
Okay, James, if you don't put up a defense in this one, we are going to expunge your name from the list of Arsenal fans across the globe. Now, what would you say? Can't they just say Arsenal, they are unambitious? Do you agree with that as an Arsenal fan? And do you also agree that Victor Osimhen shouldn't come to Emirates?
The funniest part there is I have not even thought of him going to joining us now. One team that I've always wished that he joins is the Man U. I know that United they are not what they used to, but I believe is somebody who will do well at Man U if they really go in for it. Because the players are there, they just Højlund is doing well, but you cannot compare Højlund with Osimhen, So that's one funny thing about thinking of joining Man U. I believe the players are there in Man U. I don't know, they just need that hand that will just harness the players. So if they can get somebody like Osimhen, who will just be that space, because he is going to get support. The thing about Arsenal is too many baggages. They are talking of so many things. So sometimes that's why I see some when top players join the club. At the end of the day, look at somebody like a Pepe, Nicolas Pepe, who joined us now for at over 70 million.
Yeah, 70 million,
Yeah.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, the pressure was just there and he just consumed it. Pepe, for me, Pepe is a very talented player. Sometimes I even rate him ahead of Saka. I know
Pepe is an AFCON winner.
Yeah, sometimes people just look at because he didn't. I saw some of his games when he was in France. I mean, that guy is talented, but I don't know, it just didn't work out for him. It doesn't make him a bad player. So sometimes joining us now as a top player, sometimes I don't know, a lot of players just get overwhelmed and a lot of things just come and you think they are not. And the Arsenal fans can be toxic. They can be very toxic. Especially somebody like Osimhen who joins them and they're not yet firing and they just start coming at you and making you feel like, So for me, I will agree with Henry in joining us. And I don't think he has any. The team is scoring anyway, So, so that they feel that they don't really need, as the Arsenal don't really need that world class. They just need a decent man up front that will just be a decent 20 goal scoring striker because they have other player who can score. So for me, Osimhen is a world-class player and you expect him to play for one of the top clubs. Not shading my team Arsenal, but if I'm putting the top teams, to be realistic, you're not going to put Arsenal. They were talking of the top teams. They are a big team, fine, but I mean, for a player of Osimhen status, African Footballer of the Year, and he finished 8th in the Ballon d'Or, so he expected to play for one of the top teams like the PSGs. Even the time they were saying Madrid, they were even interested.
So you compare PSG and Arsenal when it comes to pedigree in European football. You can't. PSG. They do not come anywhere near Arsenal.
No, you have to be realistic.
Why are you dissing your own club?
No, but you just have to face reality. I mean, I want. He's in Nigeria. I want him to go to a place where he will play his football, and So for me, he has done it with Napoli, and I want him to move on to the next stage in his career, and it should be a big club. I mean, he's one of the biggest stars around now, and for me, I will agree with Henri on this. I mean, he should join an elite team, because that's where you want the biggest of players to be.
Okay, of course. Maybe I should quote verbatim what Henri said. He said, "I like to see him now." He said he's eager to see Osimhen play in the Premier League. He said, "I like to see him now. What he can do in the Premier League or wherever he's going, or Paris Saint-Germain." I even mentioned Paris Saint-Germain. He said, "Not Arsenal. I want to go there." End of story. So I think Kayode and James, they've done justice to that. Kayode, I'll come to you. During the week, I think it was on Tuesday, the Ivorian FA, they decided to give Emas Faye a permanent deal as manager of the Elephants. Don't you think it is a huge risk, or do you think it is one that is worth being taken because of what he did at the AFCON? His biggest coaching experience, you would say, was when he was in France. Yeah, when he was in France. But giving him this kind of huge responsibility, don't you think it's too much?
Let me write today's date down. It is going to end in tears. I assure you, it's going to end in tears. Many times you've seen this happen. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Of course, I understand where they are coming from.
Involuntary reaction, yeah.
Yeah, you want to appreciate the coach for what he did for your team, but you see, the truth is there's no articulated plan to get a coach. You're just bringing the first available man because he was the one who led you to an improbable victory. We've seen this happen many times, Femi. We saw it in 2012 when Chelsea won the Champions League with Di Matteo, and they felt because he had won the Champions League, he was the manager they needed. He was sacked halfway through the following season or thereabout. So, and this happens a lot of times. This is also going to happen again. It is not about wishing the Elephants evil, but I see this ending in premium tears. Just write that what I've said.
Okay, James, the Liu Jin Agasset, who was sacked by the Ivorian FA during the AFCON because of their very poor run in the group stages, has now replaced General Gattuso at Olympic Marseille. But yes, Emas Faye was assistant to Gasset at the AFCON. And his biggest experience was coaching the junior team of Nice. Then, of course, the reserve team as Clermont-Foot in France. But give him such a huge responsibility. Do you agree with Kyle because of what he did at the AFCON? Or do you think that maybe we're going to see another Aliou Cisse of Senegal?
Well, on the basis of what he did for the Elephants, winning the AFCON, I mean, that was a big achievement. So, I mean, you will not fault the Ivorian FA for giving him the job, But with the instances that Kayode cited, I mean, you will be scared for him because you begin to imagine. I didn't mean they are not the host of the AFCON. They have gone that far, especially with the poor performance they had in the group stage, So just like what Kayode said, in 2012, Di Matteo won the Champions League. Everybody thought Chelsea at last, they've gotten their new Mourinho. At the end of the day, he got kicked out, a legend of the club. So Faye, a former player for the Elephants too. I mean, so it's like starting on a clean slate for him now. I mean, because the expectation will be very high now, the pressure, everything will come now because they will judge him by what he did at the AFCON. So I don't know whether whether he'll be able to replicate it because that's what people will be judging him by. Winning the AFCON, no small feat at all. So hopefully, I just hope that he does well. It always brings you this joy when local coaches do great things. Look at Aliou Cisse for Senegal. He won the AFCON. He took them to the World Cup, got to the round of 16. So you want something like that. So, you always give you that joy. Even when I won the latest Stephen Keshi did it with the Super Eagles, a lot of people were so happy with him. So I pray that he does well. But Femi, I mean, the AFCON has come and gone. It's a new chapter for him now.
Okay.
Once he doesn't perform, Femi, I'm telling you, the same people who are cheering him on, giving him all the support, the same people who are going to come for his neck. That's the sad part about football.
Okay, all right. So Emas Faye's first assignment will be friendly for the Ivorians next month, March. And of course, the 2022 World Cup qualifier against Kenya and Gabon. So we wish him all the best. But honestly, I do not envy him at this point because with what he has done, he will be even taking the Ivorians to the FIFA Confederation Cup. Well, I do not know how much knowledge he has about coaching because he'll be facing the best from other continents in that tournament. Kyle, something is brewing in Ghana, and it's been just speculation, but the number of people who are close to the GFA, they've reacted to it, and some have said they are not surprised by the names that are being peddled to replace Chris Hughton. Now, Otuado is coming back into the picture once again, and Michael Essien as his assistant. Of course, Samuel Gyan has also been tipped to be a member of the team. Some have even said, no, don't bring Otuado back. Give the job permanently to Michael Essien and let's see what he's going to do. What's your reaction to all of this, Kyle? It seems the GFA, I don't know what you are thinking at this moment.
Again, like I said in the previous case, we see a criminal lack of planning, Femi. These are knee-jerk reactions. If you're going to bring a coach, look at the condition of your team as it is now. Look at a coach who is best fit. You don't at the point where Ghana football is now, Femi, they don't need a high-priced coach. As a matter of fact, they need a coach that will get them off the basement first, because that's where Ghana football is. Otto Addo is one of the smartest guys in the business because he knew when to step aside. If he had stayed on after the World Cup, what happened to previous coaches, successive coaches after him would have happened. What happened to would have happened to him. So for me, I'm not sure he's the right candidate for the job, Femi. I won't mind if they bring in the Essien, like you said. Bring in Essien, let Essien use this as an internship. He that is down doesn't need to fear a fall.
Yeah, internship with the Black Stars job.
Yeah,
the biggest football brand in Ghana.
No. Let's be honest, Femi. I would say the same for anything in their position. You cannot fall lower than you are already. 2 successive knockouts at the AFCON, that is the lowest a team of Ghana's caliber can go to. So now we don't know. The only way they can go now is up. And they need a coach who, while he's not going to cost them a lot of money, is able to, he has been in the system, he's Ghanaian. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this now. Ordinarily, I would not advocate for a Ghanaian coach. But at this stage, they need a Ghanaian to bring them, to scrape them off the floor now, so that by the time they get up, it will get to a point where it will be open to everybody that he has taken them as far as he can go. Then they can now start thinking about bringing in a coach of better pedigree than him. But at this moment, I think if a coach, they always say this thing that a team is a reflection of the coach. If the Ghanaian team can reflect the qualities of Michael Essien, Femi, that's a good place to start.
Okay. I always had my reservation about Chris Hughton. I'm sure some of our fans who've been dedicated to this channel will tell you, because I knew that it was going to end the premium tiers for him and for the GFA. James, do you agree with this position that bringing someone like Essien at this low help that the Black Stars wouldn't be a bad idea? Or you think that they will need someone in the experience of Otuado, who is not a stranger completely to this team? What do you think?
For me, I think I'll want somebody else because Essien is somebody that is starting, and with what is happening in the Black Star squad, I don't know whether you have the experience enough to, in case when they run into troubled waters, because the Ghanaian fans will come at anybody, no matter who you are, they will come at. So he's somebody that is just starting his coaching career, and I don't want it to end in disaster for him. So I think there are different coaches. If we go to maybe Eastern Europe, different coaches who can come, and what they need is somebody who will come and steady the ship. An experienced head who will take all the knocks and everything, and just do his job. For somebody
you don't like the idea of Chris Hughton coming back either.
Chris Hughton.
Sorry, Otuado, I should say.
No. I think Otuado has seen enough. That's for him to step aside. He has seen enough. You know how hot the place is. That's why he's trying to step aside. So I think Essien can start with maybe the junior team. I don't want you to get messed up because the team is down now, and I don't think you're not going to come in and start magic all of a sudden, because they are going to lose some games. If you take over, they're going to lose some games, and we don't know how the fans are going to take it. So I know that can affect someone's, So for me, it's not a bad idea. It's somebody who can at least contribute, but at what expense? I don't want him to start his coaching career on the rough, on the bad note, So let them just look for a decent. It could even be there in Ghana. I think there are experiences there who can just come in and stabilize things, and but for Essien, we've seen a lot of young coaches who come in and they give them a big project, and at the end of the day, it might not. At the end of the day, it wasn't even their fault, but the way things are, they just crumbled and they never got back to their feet. So for me, let them just look for a decent coach and see where it takes them.
Okay, of course, the Black Side, they've also have not started their 2026 World Cup qualifier campaign on a bright note. Lost one, won one. So any new coach that the Jeff will be appointing, of course, he has a mountain to climb, so to say. Well, time is on our side, but we have to talk about this. Now, let's talk about Emily Nsue, the 2023 AFCON top scorer, announced his retirement from international football. But you can say, like they say in Nigeria, in the local palace here, that a witch cried today, a child died tomorrow. How do they say it? Then it's easy to actually know what killed the child. Remember last week we talked about Sue ranting about the Equatorial Guinea football FA, about how they've been handling issues right there. But during the week, at 34, I think he can be proud of what he's achieved. But I think the biggest loser will be the Equatorial Guinea side.
Well, to look at it, the only way out for him is to just bow out of the national team after that falling out with the officials. I'm sure he doesn't want to wait until he's humiliated. But having said that, his days are actually numbered. Even if there was no crisis, I'm not sure he would have gone on and on and on for them, although his experience could have come in handy. It's going to be said that they hounded him out of the team. And I'm happy for one thing, Femi, the fact that he stood up for his team like a captain. He defended them. He spoke against these officials, these bloodsuckers who have seen football as a means to have a better life at the expense of the players and the country. So for that, I think he deserves all the accolades he gets, and the remaining days of his active years, he wants to dedicate to club football. For me, that's the way to go. And I know the national team will be the poorer for it because, of course, he still has, like we saw at the AFCON, he still has a good year or two in his legs for the national team, but that is not going to happen. I don't even expect him, not even if the president of the country begs him, should he go back on any account. He's done, Let those who handed him out of the team, let them bow their heads in shame. But this guy has shown that he is decent. He will not take rubbish on behalf of the team he led, and now he's out of the team. Let somebody else come up and take up the mantle. But this issue is not going away from me. It's going to keep popping up every time because African administrators will never learn. They keep making the same mistakes that their colleagues all over the continent makes, and then we keep seeing all of this. We don't know where the next outburst is going to come from. The Femi, definitely an association, a football association in Africa is the next in line. Hopefully, it's not going to be who you are thinking.
Of course, he can be proud of his career because he scored a hat-trick at the last AFCON, joining the class of the likes of Samuel Eto'o, African football legend. James, as we wrap up this weekend, of course, today, Friday, of course, we have Cameroon take on Nigeria in Douala, and of course, the big one, Ghana, the Black Queens, hosting the Copper Queens in Accra. These are two mouth-watering 2024 Olympic qualifiers that you can't just take your eyes off today. Then the return leg will be taking place on Monday. Quickly.
Yeah, good luck to the Super Falcons. I mean, it's a big one for them. The last time they played at the Olympics was in 2008 in Beijing. Since then, they've gone on to miss 3 straight Olympic games. I mean, for a powerhouse like Super Falcons, missing out in 3 consecutive Olympics. I mean, so this is an opportunity for them to get back to the Olympics. And this is the same indomitable honest that stopped them from qualifying for London 2012. So it's like a revenge game for them. And good thing that the coach is back on the world drum. And some of the players who were not around before, like Ashley Plumter and some other ones, they are back to before the team. So hopefully they'll get a good first leg result and come home to wrap things up. So hopefully we'll see a good outing for them, and And at the end of the day, they will at least stand a good chance of qualifying for the Olympics. Because the men are not
Okay, all
going to
right.
qualify. They're already out. So
Yeah.
it will be palatable to the two national teams. At least one of them should be at the Olympics in the football event.
Okay, all right. So we'll get our fingers crossed as far as that is concerned. Cowdy and James, thank you so much for your thoughts on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. See you some other time.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Hopefully we'll see next time.
Okay. So our friends across the world, please let us know what you think about some of the issues that we talked about today, particularly about Cape Town. You'll be buried in Kenya today. And of course, the issue in Ghana. Our Ghanaian fans, please let us know in the comment section. What do you think about this arrangement of the coaching team that is being put together or reportedly being put together by the GFA, Otoado, Essien, even Samoa again? What do you think? Please let us know what you think. And of course, Emas Fine, what do you think? Do you think the job will be too big for him to handle? Let us know. And this is where our final whistle will be sounding today. Thank you so much for all your support. We pray that you have a fantastic weekend wherever you are across the globe. I remain Ashalulu FM. We'll see you all on Monday. Bye for now.